Welcome back to Library Choice YouTube channel. In today's class, we'll be learning how to make this beautiful trumpet or bell sleeve. Okay, so I made this with a tulle net, a decorative tulle net, and it has like Ankara bias at the hemline like this. It's very gorgeous and beautiful, and it's also very simple to make. If this is what you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. So to make this sleeve, we're going to be putting your fabric on a bias. I'm working with this net fabric and I'll be taping the hemline with this Ankara fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to be folding my fabric like I'm folding a triangle like this. So I'm cutting just one because this is a tutorial. Assuming you want to cut two, before you put your fabric on fold like a triangle, you first of all fold it into two before you do that. But because I'm cutting one, so this is my fabric now, I'm going to fold it in such a way that this side here is going to go over like this other side to form like a triangle. So you can see what I have now. Okay, this is what it's looking like, and this is my sleeve. Okay, so now after getting your triangle like this, the next thing now is to get our armhole measurement. So the armhole I'm working with is 13 inches divided by 2 is going to give me 6.5 inches. Okay, so now you can just use your tape rule to get where you have 6.5 inches like this, or you just note your starting point. So assuming this is my start, I'm taking this place to be my starting point. I'm going to take my ruler and then rule a straight line there to serve as my starting point. This is a net, so I hope you can see these markings very well. Okay, so that here is my starting point. Now the next thing is to measure my calf's height. The calf's height I'm working with is 3.5 inches. So now from my starting point, I'm measuring 3.5 inches. I'm also measuring the 3.5 inches here, and then I'm going to make it into a straight line. Okay, so it's like drafting a basic sleeve. So now from here to here, I'm going to draw a diagonal line. If you watched my video on how to draft a basic sleeve, you understand this. So from this point, starting point here to this other end, I'm drawing a diagonal line like this. So after drawing my diagonal line, I'll take my tape rule and get the midpoint of the diagonal line. So this is it here, and then the midpoint is going to be around here. So now on this midpoint, now I'm going to divide it into 2 again. Okay, so let's say half here, half here. So here I'll measure out 0.75. On the midpoint here, I will not touch it. Then the last point I'll measure 0.5, and then I'm going to connect the lines. So just watch my video on how to draft a basic sleeve, you understand this. So I'm connecting from here down all the way to the midpoint, and then to the 0.5, and then downwards like this. So this is my curve, my armhole curve. Okay, I hope you can see it, but if you watch that video, you understand it better. So now I'm just trying to get my measurements. Now remember, I'm working with a 6.5 inches armhole. So taking my tape round, now I have 6.5 inches here, and then what I have here is going to serve as my allowance. So after my 6.5 inches, I just have 1 inch left, so that's going to be for my allowance. Okay, so this is my armhole curve. Now the next thing now is to measure my sleeve length. The sleeve length I want to work with is 22 inches. So from this starting point here, I'm going to be measuring 22 inches all around. So here I have 22 inches. I'll take the tape rule and then measure 22 inches here also. So I'll keep measuring the 22 inches like that till I get to the end point. So because this is a net, I'm being careful so that it doesn't shift. Okay, So from 22 inches I'm marking is from the starting point, not from the measurement I took for the cap's height. So from here also I'm going to measure the 22 inches and then I'm going to connect them together. Okay, so after connecting them together, I'm going to cut it out. So that's my sleeve length, and then I'm going to cut my armhole also. Okay, so this is my armhole. So this is it for my sleeve. So if you feel this is too big for you, you can actually reduce it. And how do you do that? You can, on your hemline here, you can just measure like maybe 5 inches away from this open part, not the fold point. So once you measure the 5 inches, you take your ruler and then connect it to your armhole point here. You connect it to your armhole point there, and then you cut it off. Cutting it off will reduce how big this is. Okay, so let me just cut this so that we will see what I'm talking about. You cut it from here and then it goes to meet your armhole curve. So this will not influence your armhole measurement that you have here. It is going to remain the same. It is just the hemline that will become reduced, so depending on what you want. So now the next thing is for me to cut the Ankara that I want to use to tape this. And to do this, I'm going to put the Ankara also on fold, but I'll mark the measurement that I need for the hemline. So here I'm marking around 17 inches. So on fold, that's going to give me 34 inches when I open it. Then I'm going to put the Ankara also on fold on bias. Okay, so now this is a bias cut now. So after putting it on fold on bias, I'm going to measure the 34 inches that I need. Okay, and then the length is going to be around 2.5 inches with allowance. So now I'm going to measure this now and cut it out. I don't want the video to be too long, so I may decide to do some part off camera. Okay, so I've put my fabric on bias, as we can see here. Okay, it's on bias now, and then I want to take my measurement. So I changed my measurement from 2.5 to 3 inches. So I decided to use 3 inches, and this part is on fold. So 3 inches divided by 2 is 1.5. So I measured 1.5 now, and I used my chalk to rule it. So this is the chalk line. So by the time I cut it out and I open it, it's going to give me 3 inches. So I measured 1.5, and I'm cutting out the 1.5 now. Okay, so now this is going to be the fabric for my taping. So now this is my sleeve. This is the hemline of my sleeve where I'm showing this taping to. So the first thing I'll do now is to take this to the sewing machine now and then sew this to my taping. The essence of cutting it on a bias is that, remember, this sleeve is actually not straight. You cut it almost like a quarter flare. So if you cut it on straight, it may not be easy to sew it to it. That's why I cut the Ankara on bias. So you can see that it's just aligning the way I'm putting it now. So I'm going to sew it like this, and then I'm going to turn it to the other side also. So I'll first sew it like this, then I'll bring it back to show us. Okay, so I've gone ahead to tape it on the other part with my Ankara, and you can see it. Then I just went ahead to shape it on the side, okay, because I don't want this video to be too long, and this is what we've been doing over and over. So this is the full bell sleeve. I can see how lovely and gorgeous this is looking. And like I said, if you want it even wider than this, remember we trimmed this off. You may decide to leave it like that. We trim like 5 inches off from this. Okay, it's very simple and really lovely. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.